So, with Carson Wentz being traded, and moving on to the great football field in the sky, and by that I mean the horrible football field down below in the humidity of Washington D.C. As he's been traded to the Commanders. While I would normally make a video talking about about the player that we traded, and I think the Colts got a pretty good deal in the trade. I mean, a second rounder, a third rounder, and a third rounder that could become a second rounder. I think that's a pretty good haul for Carson. And they took his full contract, giving us tons of money to play with in free agency. Really, I want to focus on the future because that's the more important thing. What are we going to do at QB moving forward? It looks like the Colts front office is leaning towards Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, it's just gonna be the same thing as Wentz. He's not gonna. What makes you think that he's gonna come here and improve? The only thing that we have better than the 49ers was quarterback and running back, and we've just gotten rid of one of them. And if you think I'm crazy for saying Carson Wentz is better than Jimmy Garoppolo, I think you're smoking crack, because Carson Wentz is better than Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't even like Carson Wentz too much, but he's better than Jimmy Garoppolo. I would not like that. The Colts have explicitly said that they are not exploring a Jordan Love trade. I would like Jordan Love, but not a must-need. Derek Carr, I would like Derek Carr, but it looks like what we'd have to give up to get him would be absolutely horrendous. I saw one Raiders fan asking for Quentin Nelson, Darius Leonard, Braden Smith, along with several like 3 or 4 high-round picks, like second and third rounders, for Derek Carr. If you think I would accept that, or if you think Chris Ballard would accept that, I think you're on some other kind of drug. Like, you are so amazingly high that you have reached another plane of existence to think that that trade would be accepted by the Colts. 2 future Hall of Famers and a Pro Bowl offensive lineman for Derek Carr? No. Mitchell Trubisky, intriguing option, but I mean, the Bears back in their playoff days a few years ago aren't that similar. I mean, aren't that different from what the Colts are? They had a really good defense. They had one good wide receiver, and their quarterback was The weapons that Trubisky would have in Indy, the only difference is he would have a better offensive line and he would have a better running back. But receiver-wise, it'd be about the same to what he had in Chicago. Unless we massively improve our receiver room, which if we like draft David Bell or something, maybe it could happen. If we sign Amari Cooper, maybe, which I will make a video on free agents at wide receiver that I want us to sign. I'm making a video on that later. But no, I don't think Trubisky would be a good one. Sam Ehlinger, intriguing. But my favorite option of the lot is Jameis Winston. You may be asking why. Well, here is why. Jameis Winston, in 7 games before he tore his ACL, 14 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. That is pretty good. And he was able to manage that with a decent receiver room, but it's not like he had anything hugely amazing. He had a decent defense, but it's not like he had anything hugely amazing. Like, if Jameis came over to Indy, he would have improvements on the offensive end of the ball, and a lot of them. And it would probably help his play. And he can be a gunslinger, which is really what Colts fans are seeming to want. He can manage a game, which all QBs should be able to, but he can be a game manager and just check it down the field and dink and dime his way down the field. he can scramble a little bit last time I checked. I mean, I know the ACL, it's gonna damage that mobility a little bit, but it's still there. I think he would fit with this offense decently. With the QB market thinning and thinning and thinning, I think it'd be good. I mean, we would get a good amount of value out of him, and we wouldn't have to like do a Derek Carr trade that they're suggesting, which what they're suggesting is horrible. So I think it's a risk that we're willing to take, and worst comes to worst, Jameis Winston doesn't play good, you put in Sam Ehlinger. Give him a shot. Maybe you even have a QB battle in the preseason between Winston and Ehlinger. Or you got Winston, Ehlinger, and a quarterback who you drafted. 3 guys all competing for a quarterback spot. I think it'd be good. I mean, he's really the cream of the crop with what we've got to work with here. There were reports that a former NFL QB was meeting with Jim Irsay today. Definitely not Andrew Luck. The most popular options were Phillip Rivers and Tom Brady. Phillip Rivers maybe, Tom Brady maybe, but they're both pretty long shots. People seem to think Tom Brady's like the longest shot just because he apparently doesn't like the Colts, but Tom Brady's a competitor, and the Colts have promising pieces to work with him, and I feel like he would be fine with playing with these guys, especially with the competitiveness and the aggressiveness that they play with. I feel like Tom Brady respects that at least a little bit. But I don't think he would come out of retirement for the Colts. Like, why would he leave the Bucs to come join the Colts? That doesn't really add up. But yeah, my favorite option is Jameis Winston. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with this, but it's my opinion. See you guys next time. As always, I'm not funny. And this offseason is going to be interesting.
Just got unlucky on a few plays tonight. You know, one of those plays, I thought he was standing still, but he just hit the shit out of that one guy, and the guy went flying. They blew the whistle, and they called it on him.